All right, welcome back. We're going to talk about the U.S. Open now. 15 different majors, 15 different winners. The last 9 have had first-time winners. Are we seeing a lot more depth in golf now than we have ever, period?
Absolutely. The last 15 years has just been Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson. You didn't really hear about, the Bubba Watsons or the Ricky Fowlers, even though they're still kids. But you never heard the up-and-comers. And now with Tiger having his deal and not being able to swing the club for some reason over the weekend, you're getting all these talented guys coming up and be able to win. It's anyone's tournament. It's not just a one-horse race anymore.
Yeah, exactly. You came into that tournament thinking Woods was going to be the guy, and actually the first 2 days it kind of looked like he might be the guy, and all of a sudden he fell apart, and all these other players kind of came to the forefront, and Simpson had a great round on that final day and caught a few breaks, and Jim Furyk and didn't catch a few breaks. So that's the game of golf. That's the beauty of it.
But look how Simpson did it quietly.
Yep.
He shot back-to-back 68s, and no one really knew about it, right? And he was out of the field, and all of a sudden, Furyk had his duck hook on, 16? And all of a sudden, he was back in, and Simpson made that awesome chip on 18, and he came out the winner, which was pretty cool.
And they said Bubba, after he won the Masters, kind of got away from the game of golf a bit and had a little bit of fun. Can imagine that, but and he suffered on the weekend too. So.
Is that going to be an issue for golf, or does that make it more exciting that you don't have the constant winners? Of course, Tiger Woods was dominant for so many years, and I guess a lot of people were drawn to that. Either you wanted to see him win or see him lose. Either way, you still were drawn to that. Nowadays, when you're seeing all these winners just come up, does it kind of dilute that a little bit in terms of TV ratings?
More, I think in any sport, you're always looking for who is the strongest person in that sport, whether it be chuck wagon racing or whether it be golf or hockey or whatever it be. You always want that superstar in that sport. Who is the next superstar? We're always looking for it. Right now, you can't really say this guy's going to be the next superstar, that guy's, because there's about 10 guys that could be the next superstar.
And when I always watch tournaments, I always want Tiger to win, first of all. But lately, I just want to see good hard finishes on the 72nd hole. If someone's down a shot, like Graham McDowell was, I wanted him to make that birdie putt. I really want to see that 18-hole playoff. So that's what I think golf's getting a little more interesting, because before it was just Tiger wins, Tiger wins. Now I think it's drawing in people, because who's going to win? No one knows.
Well, we'll talk about another topic that's drawing controversy, and that's Jim Rome and, of course, the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern. Both of these guys not liking each other. Of course, they did a radio interview over the weekend, and it involved Jim Rome asking him about the NBA draft and asking him if the lottery was fixed. David Stern didn't like the question and came out to say, well, what about you beating your wife? Didn't really go off, maybe a little bit off topic, but let's just be honest. Was this poor judgment by David Stern to kind of go after that, a little low blow?
Yeah, it's bad judgment on Stern's behalf, but Jim Rome, he's always looking for it. A few years ago it was Jim Everett. He kept on calling him Chris Everett on air, and finally Jim had enough being called Chris and jumped after Jim Rome on air. So Jim Rome likes to stir the pot, likes to get a little controversy. That's why he does what he does, and he got a little controversy out of that.
It seems like everyone thinks sports are rigged these days. How do you rig a draft lottery? I don't understand that. But with asking the whole beating his wife, yeah, that's probably stung below the belt a little bit for sure.
All right, but do you feel that this is going to take away from the NBA Finals? Was this a bad move by David Stern?
I think it's just a move. I don't think it should take away from the action on the court. You're selling that game on the TV. I don't think people are going to say, well, let's talk about Stern rather than talk about that game that night. I think the game itself sells itself.
Yeah, it's not going to take away from the finals. It's the NBA Finals, and you got LeBron and Miami Heat who are looking for their 8th championship, or how many they want to go for. And you got OKC with Kevin Durant and all that young, good talent. So no, this won't take away from the finals.
All right. Well, you guys have been doing well so far. It hasn't taken away from the show yet. Let's talk about the Riders, though. The Saskatchewan Roughriders. Your expression just said it all, guys. 44-10, albeit it is exhibition.
Yeah.
So you try to take everything with a grain of salt. They're just trying to learn. However, the offense didn't look as good. The front four, the defense didn't look great. Granted, Odell Willis wasn't there, so we didn't see what he was capable of adding into that end. But despite being preseason, are there concerns after that one preseason game?
I think there's concerns after last season, all along a preseason game. There's still questions regarding the offensive line. Will they come through? It's hard for Durant to throw the ball when he's laying on his back. I don't think they have a legitimate running back right now. They don't have anybody strong enough to hit the hole and hit it hard. All their running backs are fairly small, except for the ones that we did see coming out of training camp. I think there's a lot of questions around their offense, and there's questions around their defensive secondary, and they have no pass rush. So other than that, the Riders look great.
What about Darian Durant? what about Darian Durant, though? Because it just seems that he's trying to be a pocket passer. And I think that's his issue, because I think he's more of a Damon Allen. He's a hybrid. He's a guy who could use his legs, be mobile, and that opens up the pass for him because it keeps defenses flat-footed because they don't know what to do. Either they have to rush him or he throws the ball. He could hurt you both ways. Is he a guy that needs to step up as well?
You pretty much took the words out of my mouth. He is one of the most effective quarterbacks when he's not in the pocket. Every time if he runs for 50 yards, they usually win 99% of the time. And my concern was after they took him out of the first preseason game, he was 0 for 3 passing. I know it's exhibition and you want to see, who's going to be the backup, but that's your go-to guy. I thought he should have played the second quarter. At least complete a pass. I'm pretty sure he has zero confidence if he didn't even have any already. So that was one of my concerns is when they took him out after the first quarter.
See, the thing they don't talk about, even if you're a running passer, if you want to roll out of the pocket, you still need that time. And if you don't have that time, and they never had that time last year, the offensive line, the defensive line from the other teams are just blowing right by the O-line. And if you don't have time, you can't even roll out. And that's what happened to Durant time and time again. He'll try to roll out, and all of a sudden he's tackled.
All right. Well, we're going to have to end off on that note. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with Over Under next.